Someone says, do you believe our children have chosen to be with us as their parents, or is it random? Wow, y'all are really dropping it today. I couldn't get these kind of questions on shows or nothing. Well, what it really is about children. So let's understand it. So the part that because it's both, okay? Because the part that they're saying that the child chooses you is because the child is still being attracted to the light that's coming from the friction between your mother and your father rubbing themselves together, okay? So in that case, the child is choosing that light. Now that choosing, though, has a tendency to be similar to how it is with a fly choosing to fly into a bulb. It's just the natural thing that it knows to do, and it feels right. So I don't think there's a right and wrong in this, but that's the whole summing up of why they can say that the child chooses the parents. And let me see, what was the other half to that question? Oh, and is it random? And the other thing, though, is that is another part of this, because there's never no yes and no to these kind of questions. There are professional incarnators, meaning that at times when a child is coming through, another being will choose to imprint that child. And imprinting is like basically storing its hard drive and its memory on that child too. So the child comes in living the double life. No, I'm joking, but serious. They come in with multiple imprints from different things that they've been in contact with or have gravitated to them as they've gone through their reincarnation process. So this is explained very in a recent situation with a kid he said he knew who he was the life before. But if we understand the continuum, it's really not the life before. What he got when he came in was he was imprinted by someone who had lived before. And then so that database and memory bank, and this is Max Heindel's work. You got to look at it because it talks about the space that you fly through when you're coming into an incarnation. And then that space is very similar to purgatory. And that purgatory is basically just a composition of lost souls, basically people who didn't really understand what happened when they left. And then they're searching to get back into physicality. And then it becomes kind of like after a while of in that space that they start to see ways to get back into the physical reality, mainly catching a comet, meaning catching a light being flying through, imprint that light being when it's going into the womb, and then living vicariously, and in some cases dominantly, through that individual's incarnation. And this comes about as voices in the head. They got a new movie out called Voices. It's your boy, what's his name, Rodney Reynolds or whatever his name. He did the movie in the 90s. But this movie is based around, couldn't even watch the whole thing. It gets into the weird Hollywood's version of whatever world that they're trapped in. But he's hearing voices, and the voices are coming through the animals. And then there's a good cop, there's a bad cop. But basically it's just highlighting the whisperer, which plays the two angel component, so that you can never be at noon. You always either left or right, and then that keeps you going and oscillating between the poles, which drives the energy that's being fed upon on the reality.